Hey, hey, hey. This is Urban Politics, and I'm your humble host, Philzette Music. I want to thank you all for liking and subscribing as you do. Please, as soon as you have a chance, take your little cell phone over to YouTube, like and subscribe, Philzette Music, Urban Politics. Without further ado, I want to run right into this like a car and drive because there's all types of tasty and delicious politics for us to sink our teeth into. First of all, let's talk about how House Democrats introduced legislation to bar Trump from ever holding office again under the 14th Amendment. That's how they're doing it, right? David Cicilline, I hope I'm saying his name right, of Rhode Island, introduced legislation to bar former President Trump from holding future federal office under the 14th Amendment. Section 3 of this amendment states that no one who previously took an oath to support the Constitution and endanger or engaged in an insurrection or rebellion shall hold any office, civil or military, under the United States. Under Section 5, Congress has the power to pass legislation to implement this prohibit this prohibit this prohibition basically. David Cicilline also said that Donald Trump's past behavior disqualifies him from ever being able to hold office. You don't get to lead a government you try to destroy. Wow, that said it best right there. When I read that part, I was like, that's poignant right there. You don't get to lead a government you tried to destroy. Right there, we know from the January 6th commission that this man basically, you know what I'm saying, he fomented an insurrection. He led it, kind of, sort of, because of course he flaked out when the ish went down. You know, since a family show, when the ish went down, he got to running and he wasn't there or whatever. But his henchmen and women, they went in there and they finished the job, right, of raiding the Capitol and ransacking the place and smearing boo boo all over the place and all that good stuff. So, but that was at his will. That was on his command. Even though he want to act like he didn't have nothing to do with it and it really didn't have anything to do with him. Yeah, right. You're the dude who instigated all of this. So he did this. So right here under the 14th Amendment, you can't do that and then call yourself running for office again, whether it's president, whether it's, you know what I'm saying, governor, whether it's meter maid at the Capitol building. You cannot do that because you fomented an insurrection against this government. And I think that last quote, like I said, says it best right there. You know what I'm saying? You don't get to lead a government you try to destroy. True indeed. You don't get to lead a government you tried to destroy. That's Trump's whole thing. He's looking to blow it all up. A lot of these MAGA supporters, a lot of these Trumpers or whatever, that's what they're looking to do. They're looking to blow government up. In their mind, it doesn't work. It sucks. It doesn't benefit me or people who look like me enough. So blow it up. It doesn't work anymore. Just get rid of it. Scrap it. You know what I'm saying? And we'll start again with something new, or we just won't start again or whatever. That is what it is. There's a lot of people who do feel like that, believe it or not, on both sides. But on that side, that's what this whole thing is about. You know what I'm saying? But you don't get to do that and then come back and still want to say, "Nah, I want to be a part of the game. Now I wanted to mess up." You don't get to think about that. You don't get to sit there and tip over the chessboard and just smack the chips up in the air. And then when everybody gets everything together and come back with a new game and all that and get their scoreboard together and come back and say, "Oh, I want to play again, man. Let me get in that game again." Nah, you the mofo who just, messed everything up. You don't get to just come back in after we done got everything back together and got the game going again. So that TI is what a TI is. Check this out. The 14th Amendment was ratified in the aftermath of the Civil War when ex-Confederates and seceded states rejoined the Union. So you might have been asking yourself, like I was asking myself, how they gonna do that? You know what I'm saying? How could a person, you know what I'm saying, rejoin the Union or whatever? And that's what it is on the 14th Amendment. When they had that Civil War, there were a lot of, states who had seceded. It was like, we want to take that back. Our bag. We were mad, but we're not that mad. But some of them states are still big mad. That's why we even have some of the problems that we have right now. But when that went down, a lot of them, of course, said, want to come back to the United States. They came back to the United States in this made an avenue for that to happen. You know what I'm saying? They had to amend this 14th Amendment because the 14th Amendment did say, if you call yourself being a traitor, you're a traitor. And that's it. You know what I'm saying? You can never be down again. You can never hold office. You can never, none of that. You're not down anymore. You claim you didn't want to be a part of this great union. Goodbye. But you know what I'm saying? You can always have amendments. Got to have those amendments. What will we do without amendments to our Constitution? All right, anyway, moving on. Let's talk about House Republicans. House Republicans, they've been tripping lately too, right? Well, so first things first. When they take control of the House, and it's coming up here in a minute, this is January 1st right now, we're in the new year. Happy New Year to you, ladies and gentlemen. We're in the new year. 2023 right now is upon us, right? So House Republicans are getting ready to take their place, their rightful place, I guess, because the American people did elect them, so their rightful place in the House of Representatives. So they say that they want to stop funding the Ukraine war. I'm not going to lie, believe it or not, I'm right there with them on that. Now, I'm not dissing Ukraine, and I still do not support what Vladimir Putin did, running in there, attacking a sovereign country like that. That was garbage. He shouldn't have did that, but guess what? That is their problem. Okay, we got problems here in America, and a little bit of funding is fine, but I think some of this funding is just grotesque. But we do it all the time. At first, I heard something about $1 trillion to Ukraine. Whoa, that blew me off my seat. But then I heard something about now it's $85 million to Ukraine. That's still a whole lot of money. What is going on? We always have all this money for foreign aid, right? But when a pandemic hit here in America, they was tripping about giving people $1,200 a month to live. When I heard about other places giving people, $3,800, $4,000 a month to live. Canada doing that for their people. But we can't do it here in America. In America, these United States, come on now. But you got all this money to give Ukraine. Then in the budget that just passed, I might be getting a little ahead of myself, but TI is what TI is. The budget that just passed, that was a piece of the budget, this money for Ukraine. There's a lot of House Republicans who did not like that. They was like, no. And now what's crazy though is, okay, right, when Trump was president, they was all up, Russia's whatever. You know what I'm saying? He was all up Vladimir Putin's. If you watch the show, you already know how I talk about how they are bosom buddies, right? So it's interesting that the right was all about Russia, but now things have changed. And if you listen to Fox News, they're poo-pooing giving money to Ukraine. And now they're saying something about the president of Ukraine is against Christians and is persecuting Christians. I don't know where that came from, but you know what? That's how the right is. They're with you when they're with you. When they ain't, now they got you persecuting Christians and eating babies. So what TI is, what TI is. But that just blows me away. If you think I'm lying, watch Fox News one night and check this stuff out. You know what I'm saying? But it's crazy. So that's how that has changed or whatever. So we'll see what happens with that. But they want to stop funding to the Ukraine, the Ukraine war against Russia. I'm not going to lie. I agree with that. Not stop funding maybe, but definitely pull back. $85 million is too much. Okay? It's too much when y'all act like y'all can't give American citizens money to live while there's a pandemic that's going around that could kill people. But y'all ain't got no money for us. Y'all ain't got no money for our social programs. Y'all ain't got no money for the hood. But y'all got money for you. I digress. Anyway, moving on. They want to invest or investigate the January 6th commission. Of course, you've seen that coming. You're seeing that coming. That's the reason why, once again, getting sidetracked, I got you though. That is the reason why you see an apprehension of Merrick Garland to come down with the retribution that he needs to against Trump and all these cats who are involved in this madness. Why? They're afraid of that political retribution. That's what they're afraid of. It's always that. Oh, the other side, they'll get power and they'll do the same thing when they get power. Merrick Garland, if you're in the earshot of my voice, dude, F that. This is a family show. F that. F that. Because in the end of the day, you're still going to get it. You still got Marjorie Taylor Greene going up there talking about she want to impeach Biden. For what? Even other Republicans were like, for what? What are we going to impeach him for? We have nothing to impeach that man for. So what you going to impeach him for? You know what I'm saying? Get out of here. You're always going to have that. And the right stays on that. The right stays on we need to investigate them. Or they had this January 6th commission where they had the gall to investigate people who ravaged the state in Washington, D.C. How dare they investigate one of the most egregious moments in history in this country? How dare they do that? Now we need to investigate Benny Thompson. Now we need to investigate Liz Cheney. Now we need to investigate Adam Kinzinger. Because these people had the testicular fortitude to step up and be like, hey, probably shouldn't be people smearing feces on the wall of our Capitol here in the United States of America. Anyway, so that's another thing that they want to do. They're also yelling about the border. Going on and on and on about the border. Now, here's the thing about the border. Both sides will admit there's a problem at the border, right? So I'm sitting here watching, I think it was CNN or one of them. It wasn't Fox, or maybe it was, it might have been Fox or CNN, one of them I'm watching. And it was interesting, they interviewing all these different senators and congressmen and women, and a lot of them just didn't even want to talk about it. They just was running past the camera and talking about the border. They want to talk about it. And then, you know what I'm saying, you had Republicans who were saying that, the people they did get to talk about it were people who represent these different districts. And the one guy was like, and he represents like a southern district down there by the border, somewhere in Texas or whatever. And he said, yeah, we're doing what we can. Obviously, we're not doing enough. We need to step it up. There was another guy who was a Democrat who said the Democrats have to own this. This is their problem, and they're turning a blind eye to it. Then you have Republicans kicking the same old jazz they're always kicking. I went on record as saying, I'm going to say it again for those who aren't listening. I'll say it ad nauseum because the man is, he ain't gone. You know what I'm saying? He hasn't passed on. He's still here, Chris Matthews. But I'm right, Chris Matthews. He knew what he was talking about when he said that. You will never, ever, 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 ever see an answer to immigration because both sides want it for different reasons. Democrats want the votes, and Republicans want the free and cheap labor. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. That's all, folks. You know what I'm saying? I'm keeping it real. And he kept it real. That's why he ain't on MSNBC no more. But that's what's that and among other stuff. But my point is, that dude, he knew exactly what he was talking about, and that's what it is, ladies and gentlemen. Neither side really wants an end to this. And Republicans enjoy having immigration as a political football. That's the reason why some legislation just came up a little while ago. You can Google everything I'm talking about. That, Democrats call themselves trying to figure out this immigration thing, whatever. I didn't even read the legislation. I haven't seen it, but I know it came up. And a lot of Republicans poo-pooed it off rip. Why? Because they enjoy having immigration as a political football. They don't want to get rid of it or fix the problem at the border, as well as Democrats don't really want to fix the problem at the border. Democrats want to fix it, have more of an incentive to fix it than Republicans. Why? It is a lot of votes. Come on, let's keep it real. Let's keep it real. Immigrants coming in, they're going to tend to vote democratically, right? Because they're not going to be rich. They're not going to be made of money. So, of course, a lot of their kitchen table issues are going to be issues that are paramount to people who are indigent or who are poor, because these people are coming over here, they're going to be poor. You know what I'm saying? Unless you have some kind of lifeline or something, or some kind of money over here in your family or something, you're going to come over here poor, you probably going to vote democratically. So there it is. You know what I'm saying? The Democratic Party wants those votes. Let's be honest about it, ladies and gentlemen. The TI is what the TI is. So there it goes. Listen, another thing, McCarthy fighting to be Speaker of the House. That's a mess for Republicans, right? You know what I'm saying? Because there's people who ain't digging McCarthy. I think they said the Freedom Caucus ain't digging McCarthy. You know what I'm saying? Marjorie Taylor Greene, some of the loudest voices in his caucus, the ones that he can't wrangle in, the ones who are even making it hard for him to be Speaker, they don't want him to be Speaker. They don't dig him. They don't like him. I don't know what he does about that, but they said that's going to cause a lot of infighting in that Republican House, ergo making it hard for them to get things done. Of course it's going to make it hard for them to get things done. And McCarthy is a toothless dog. He's a horrible speaker. He's not good at that job at all. He wants it, but he's no good at it. They may give it to him. He sucks at it. If TI is what a TI is, ladies and gentlemen, I guess if he can get the votes and get the support, he'll get the job. He doesn't deserve it, though. But, okay. Anyway, moving on. Let's talk about Bipartisanship, which is something we rarely talk about on this show because it rarely happens. Bipartisanship is when you have both sides coming together, right? But this right here is kind of disheartening to me. I'm kind of dismayed to report this because if you watch this show, you know that Fizz Ed Music is a big fan of TikTok. I love TikTok. If you follow me on Facebook or follow me on Instagram, you also know I am a big fan of TikTok. I love TikTok. I have wasted countless Saturdays and Sundays on TikTok, but I've gotten an HE double hockey sticks of an education from TikTok, right? So here we go. Bipartisan bill to ban TikTok. Cybersecurity experts and FBI directors have warned that the Chinese government could use the popular app to spy on Americans. Let me stop right there. Could use the popular app to spy on Americans. So what? So what? What is there to learn? What is there to find out about Americans? I'm just being honest. And ladies and gentlemen, if I'm wrong, please, you're always in the pushback zone. Feel free to push back. But what the is there to find out about Americans? What is interesting about us? Nothing. You know what I'm saying? Nothing. Your average American is doing what? Working. Working. And praying to maybe have a little bit of time to spend with their family and friends and maybe going on vacation once a year if they're lucky. Most Americans are not because they're poor and they're working every day to pay bills. So what are the Chinese going to find out? What is this secret information that you're scared that they might uncover about the American public? There's nothing to uncover. Ain't nothing going on. People around here ain't doing that. Listen, they going to work. Some are going to church. And that's it. In between, they going to see their significant other. And that's about it. Maybe going to a movie. Maybe going out to dinner with family or friends or something. But most people around here, what are they doing, ladies and gentlemen? Working. Y'all scared that the Chinese gonna find out about that? They already know about that because their people is doing a lot of the same. Anyway, moving on. Lawmakers say the bill will protect Americans from foreign adversaries who might use certain social media to surveil Americans, learn sensitive data about them, and spread influence campaigns or propaganda. Now, I feel that because remember, that's what happened. I think, what was it, when Trump was running, right? You know what I'm saying? The Russians had linked with him. Once again, you can Google all this, say what you will or whatever. It was investigated. It came out. You know, Russians went out there and they got on Facebook and they got on some of these other social outlets and they put out stuff about how Hillary Clinton was bad and Trump was good, and lo and behold, he's president and she is not. That is what it is, and it's sad. And like I even talked about it on this show, as far as that Russian propaganda and black folk go, we were right for the picking. Because as soon as they had people on there pretending to be Black Lives Matters people and pretending to have fake rallies over here and all this other stuff, and yeah, man, they knew exactly how to get at us. They knew exactly how to get at Americans. They knew exactly how to get at black Americans, you know, because they was paying attention, you know, and they found out how we thought and how we think and how we move and how we act, and they was able to capitalize on that. But guess what, ladies and gentlemen? That happens one time. It don't happen again. I don't think anybody could ever pull that off again the way that the Russians pulled it off for Trump. And I think they knew when they were doing it that they said this is a one-time thing. We do this, we get it in good, we get our guy in there, and we do what we do. And they did what they did. That's the reason why they're through with Trump now. He was a one-off. They knew we'll get this off one time, and then that's going to be it. And I think that's what went down with that. Now, do I think that they could rise up again and somehow come with this these influence campaigns and this propaganda? Of course. Because people in this country ain't that smart, right? We go for all types of stupid stuff all the time. So I could believe that some foreign entity could come up with some little smart way to get at us and influence an election or whatever once again. But I don't think it'll be at the magnitude as the Russia-Trump thing was. And I'd hope we wouldn't have a candidate who'd actually be in bed with that foreign power like he was. But you never know. What if? So this is something that they're scared about. This is something that they brought up or whatever. I get it. Like I said, I think it's kind of a one-off thing. Like it couldn't happen again, but maybe it could, you know. And it's their job to, you know what I'm saying, deal with the what ifs. So Check this out. TikTok denied turning over any US data to the Chinese officials and said it never would, though it acknowledged that Chinese employees have some access to it. Ooh, when I heard that, I was like, so they keeping it real. They like, okay, look, we're not going to turn over sensitive data to the Chinese government, even though we're a Chinese company. We're not on that, but we do have that sensitive data. What a heck of a caveat. Ain't that something they said? We would never turn over that information to the Chinese government, but we do have it. What's that? That's interesting to me, though. How they was saying it like we would never turn that over to the Chinese government, but we got it. You know what I'm saying? That's something to think about. That's really something to think about. So they did say that. You know what I'm saying? They're saying that that there are Chinese employees who do have some access to it. Some, get out of here. They got full access to it. It's a social media site. You give it everything anyway just to be a part of it. And then once you're a part of it, you continue to give it stuff. People ask me all the time, or used to ask me all the time, why is Facebook still free? Why is Twitter and all that free? Because you give it so much. Why would they charge you anything? Why would Facebook charge you anything when you give it so much? You give it pictures of your kids. You give it pictures of you. You give it pictures of your family. You give it information about you. You give it information about where you're at. You give it information about your vacations. And I'm not just saying you, I do it too. I'm on Facebook too, right? You know what I'm saying? But I make sure I limit some of this madness because, like I'm reporting you right now, I know how deep this thing goes, but that's the reason why it's free, because people are already giving them so much. We dare not charge you. We gonna get everything we want from you and more for free. Well, that's that. I get it. You know what I'm saying? So, there's that TikTok banned right in Indonesia. It's just straight up banned in Indonesia. Some other places it's banned. Banned in Alabama. It's banned in Georgia, Iowa, Maryland, Montana. Well, listen, some of these places have legislation to ban it. I think in the last couple of weeks they brought up legislation to ban it. They look good banning it. So it is Alabama, Georgia, Iowa, Maryland, Montana, New Hampshire, North Dakota, Oklahoma, South Carolina, South Dakota, Texas, Utah, and Virginia. Wow! All these places looking to ban TikTok. Now that's so interesting to me. And then my whole thing is, why is TikTok really being banned? Why is it really being banned, ladies and gentlemen? Why? A lot of people will say, well, because it's ran by a foreign entity, it's ran by the Chinese government, ergo they could be trying to get our information. That's a bad thing. The government is scared of that or whatever. I hear that. And I think that's a piece of it, but I don't think that's the biggest piece. If you have never been on TikTok, I implore you, get on TikTok. Because there are things on TikTok that you'll see and you'll hear you would never see and hear on Facebook. You would never see and hear on Instagram. You would never see and hear anywhere that I can think of but TikTok. You know? And a lot of it is good stuff, is educational stuff. And I think that's what they don't like. I think a lot of these places definitely don't. I mean, when you get on TikTok, you know what you see? A whole lot of white folk talking about stuff that white folk don't know. And I think a lot of those states, especially if you read some of the names of these states, let me go back in these notes and read some of these names of these states. You know what I'm saying? South Carolina, Oklahoma, Montana, Georgia, Alabama. These states, they don't necessarily want some of the white folk in those states knowing some of the information that's on TikTok. I'm just keeping it real. Because there's stuff on TikTok, and like I said, do your TikToks, you get an education there. And I love it because what I love to do is go on TikTok, I hear something, I see a story, and then I go Google it. And 10 times out of 10 is true. 10 times out of 10 is correct information that someone done broke down a little clever way or whatever. But I swear to you, a lot of these states, that's what they scared of. They don't want that knowledge getting out. So they're just going to say, oh, no, we don't like it because it's ran by a foreign entity. It's ran by the Chinese government. They can be spying on Americans, getting American intelligence, American information. About what? I'm sorry. I gotta keep it real. What's more boring than Americans? We don't do anything. There's nothing going on around here. Nothing going on around. What, spy on you, sitting there making plans to go to the mall? Go and kick it with your boys or something? Maybe, I mean, come on, man. Get out of here. Anyway, they scared of the information that gets out on TikTok. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, they scared the information gets out on TikTok. Anyway, let me move on. Let's talk about the last thing I'll talk about before I get to my IPA of the week. And I gotta hurry up because I'm losing time, ladies and gentlemen. I want to talk about a tweet by a guy or gal at H Cringe Blue. And they talked about how they said Twitter, Fox News, CNN, OANN, Parler, Newsmax, The Daily Wire, all owned by Republicans. What is this big liberal media madness that Republicans are always going on and on and on and on and on about, right? On the right, they're always talking about the liberal media, the liberal media, the liberal media is pumping up such and such. The liberal media has ran with a narrative of such and such. The liberal media. Where's your liberal media? All these outlets are owned by Republicans. Parler, Newsmax, The Daily Wire. Are you serious? All owned by Republicans. So get that out of here. And please, ladies and gentlemen, don't be stupid enough to believe what they try and pump you up with and make you believe or what you hear or whatever when they want to run around here and talk about the liberal media. When most of these media outlets are ran by Republicans. Did I say that? Republicans. Anyway, moving on. Last thing I want to deal with is my IPA of the week before I get out of here, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to talk about this Break Hazy IPA by Heart State. I may have even reviewed this. I'm reviewing it again. It's a delicious little IPA. I've been sipping on it over this winter break. Look, it has salt, tropical, juicy, and easy. That's what it says on the front. It's soft, it's tropical, it's juicy, and it's easy. That's what it is. That's what I call it. Break. It's good stuff. Let's say 9 in 10 people will mansplain to you why this is the best style, or why this is the best style. 9 out of 10 people will mansplain to you why this is the best style. Okay. Break. Ale brewed with Mosaic, Simcoe, and Centra hops. Yes, I taste the citrus. All of that good stuff. This is some really, really good, delicious burr right here. It is, I'm trying to find out what is the, there it is, 6.5% alcohol. Yeah, 6.5% alcohol. We always talk about on the show, most beers are 5% alcohol or 5.5% alcohol. This is 6.5% alcohol, so you're going to definitely feel it, and it tastes delicious. So you got a little bit of money in your pocket, run on down and get you a Break Hazy IPA by Heart State. Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is my time. I'm your humble host, Fizz at Music. This right here is Urban Politics. Want to thank you all for liking and subscribing. Please, as soon as you have a chance, take a little cell phone over to YouTube. Like and subscribe. Fizz at Music, Urban Politics. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, see you around like a donut.